Suresh, and I'm part of data culture as a data architect. I have over 9 years of experience, and I'm a certified Fabric data engineer. Yes. So this is all about the Fabric side. Like with the high level topic is we're going to cover on the Fabric how we can use a Copilot to maximize our business. Yeah. So today's agenda is all about what's new on the Fabric. So why we want to choose a Fabric and our approach on the Fabric implementation, and few the customer success story and the demo followed by the Q&A. Yes. So what's new with the Fabric? So the Fabric is the Microsoft product. It's a completely SaaS model, which comes with the bundle of all sorts of the data engineering, data science, and the data visualization. To add with these all completely on the one lake side. And coming to the topic of what's new on the Microsoft Fabric, they have recently introduced the flow called the Microsoft mirroring, and which is the data mirroring and the shortcuts. So let us assume you have your data within your external cloud or your on-prem. If you want to bring that data into the Fabric, yes, this mirroring and shortcut will help you to just bring a data into the Fabric environment just in a time of just have kind of connectors in place, and that will bring a data into it. Okay. So coming to the data mesh, is we have a data within our Fabric. Now how we can organize that within the Fabric, right? So for that, the Fabric comes with a data mesh, which is as a domain in each of this. So let us assume if you have what to say, the different, one second, thing, looking for a full screen. Yeah. So on the data mesh side, so let us assume we are within an organization, there will be a different domains called the sales, finance, and the operations, right? So how we can segregate the data between these domains? So using data mesh, we can just segregate the data between each of these domains so that the right governance in place and the data quality and the data, what to say, the data policies, everything will be applied securely manner. Okay, so and the most important thing of the semantic model. So let us assume we have created a one semantic model, and using that we can reuse the semantic model across different dashboards or different reports. So we don't want to build a multiple semantic model. With one semantic model, we can use that as a distributed mode, and we can move that into the different domains as well. Okay. And coming to the Copilot and AI, so the Copilot will help us to do kind of a data preparation in a lakehouse or warehouse. And if you have some kind of a complex data set which needs a lot of time to do analysis, so using Copilot, we can just do analysis. It will give the clean insights out of it. And as a business people, we have a data ready. I want to do some ad hoc reporting. Using Copilot, just have prompt in place. Just write, hey, I just need a sales dashboard with these are the metrics and these are the table names. It will create a seamless dashboard automatically. That's the power of the Copilot. So coming to the AI, Copilot has a capable of defined models as per the market. Like we have a market experience of expert of manufacturing, retail, or can be e-commerce, right? Based on the each of this domain, they have built the AI models, which will we can ready to use that with our data set, and it able to provide the respective analytics, which is in the deeper dive. Yeah. So coming to the data engineering side, so within the Fabric, we use Synapse as a major part on the data engineering. Like it uses the Spark, like PySpark as a major, so which we can use it and leverage, which handles a large volume of data to build a lakehouse as well. So why we choose Microsoft Fabric? So it's an integrated platform. Like, so if you take any SaaS product, it has only some product has only the data engineering, and there will be separate product for data science and visualization, which comes with the Fabric. It's all into the one bundle. Like either we can do a data ingestion using Fabric, which is the data pipeline. As a storage, we use OneLake. As a data engineering, we use a Synapse, and for data visualization, we use Power BI, and even for data science, it has ready-made models available. So it's just an integrated all the solution in one pack, which you don't want to spend the separate the money for each of the products. Okay. And coming to the work done, since it has Copilot and AI has been infused into the Fabric, so which makes our work much easier. Okay. So and coming to the third point, like it's managed by the multi-cloud environment. So if you have a data within one lake, so which can be used across multiple workspace or domain. So you don't want to copy of data while you creating a dashboard or while you're creating a lakehouse. You just create a have one centralized data set that can be used across various domains. And it is also serves as for a real-time data analytics. So it has a couple of connectors. So in case of you are from the manufacturing side, where you have some machineries, right? So we just connect this the SCADA data into the Fabric that will brings data into the lakehouse seamlessly. Yes, more interesting thing. So I like to just compare how the Fabric works along with the different features of the Superman, right? So let's start with the super strength. So everyone is aware of the Superman. He has a super strength, right? So similarly, we just comparing the strength of the Superman along with the data factory. So the data movement from your different source system to the target of a Fabric, which will be very tightly coupled. There won't be any data loss, and the security policies are applied very strongly. Yes, this is on the building anything and productive data bus. This we are just relating to our Synapse data engineering. Okay, so whatever the data which we store within this one lake, it's all secured and it's all preserved within the Delta Parquet format. Yeah. So this we are just comparing with the real-time analytics, which I spoke a little bit before, right? So you have a data in your machinery. So this is how we are just comparing with the enhancing leaping and the flight. Yes. So this we are just comparing with our the real-time data and the real-time intelligence in place. Yes, and coming to the laser sharp vision, so we have a data within our Fabric, right? So at the end, the business requires the clear numbers. So for that, yes, the Power BI is the solution which is integrated with the Fabric, which we can have a lot of slice and write dashboard in it. Yeah. And the super hearing, it's nothing but the activator. So let us assume you have a data, you have dashboard, everything is in place. So if you need any threshold, like you want to alert the particular business people, hey, this is the threshold is has reached to 90%. We need to take some actions. So we can have kind of using a data activator, we can have kind of the threshold, or we can set up a rule so that will alert us through the email, or just have a inbuilt capacity within the Fabric that will showcase, hey, the particular KPI or metrics is reaching a threshold, just keep an eye on it. Yeah, that's the power of the Fabric. And yeah, so coming to the little bit on the technical side of the thing, as I mentioned, so the Fabric comes with a lot of bundle. Start with the data factory for ingestion, and Synapse data engineering for kind of using PySpark just to have big data analytics. So on the Synapse data science, just to have the models, and Synapse data warehouse just to have kind of the typical SQL, T-SQL mechanism, have a data within our warehouse. And the real-time analytics is nothing but having the machine data, bringing in that, processing those comes under the Synapse real-time analytics, and none of the less the Power BI and the data activator. So since we use different modules here, right? So everything will be sits on a one link, just like our one source. Okay, and here we have the customer 360, the finance, the service, telemetry, and the business KPIs, right? These all sits on the Parquet format, and these all like sits on each domain, which will be not what to say, like if you have a customer data, the finance data, right? The people from the customer cannot see the finance data. So that's how the security has been placed within the fabric. So coming to the slide over here. So this is one of the example which I like to show. So we have read data around 8 GB from the SQL, Azure SQL, and it has written into the fabric for 443 MB. So that's the power of fabric, which it compresses the data and stores the data in a Parquet format. Yeah. So this is the architecture we follow for any fabric implementation. So on the left hand side, you have RDBMS, flat files, and web APIs. It can be any source. So that's why I'm just mentioned 3 common sources. So in case if your data sits on the on-prem, so we use the on-prem gateway to pull that data into the fabric and move that into the bronze layer using the data pipeline. So here the bronze layer serves as the foundation and which is the raw data. So what are the in case if you have 7 columns within your source, so that 7 column will be in the bronze. So this is a raw layer. So the data pulling will happen in couple of ways. One is a full and the incremental. That's based on like what is the fields we have, what is the whether it's a dimensions or fact in a modern world of data warehouse. Okay. So from the bronze layer, we will move the data into the silver layer and we'll apply some Synapse data engineering. Like we use a lot of PySparks in it. So it's a completely dynamic one. And we will have a data within the silver layer as a cleanse zone. So the data transformation, the integration, harmonization, everything will happen within the silver layer and data will be sits as a clean in a silver layer. So let us assume we have a different source system and we are pulling that, we processing it, we are moving that into the silver layer. And now the data sits on one single location, which serves as a centralized location for our data warehouse, right? So from the silver, we can have the gold layer in place. Like we can use again Synapse data engineering, where we can apply all business rules, creating the fact tables, joining the multiple tables, and making us one data sets for our reporting purpose. So in this case, we use a Power BI as our visual analytics purpose. So, and the data from the goal to the Power BI, it's completely the new methodology which you use is a direct lake. So the general typical Power BI has a couple of options of import and direct, but here we have something new called direct lake. So you don't want to do a refresh or you don't want to keep a scheduler in place to refresh the data between the fabric to the Power BI. So whatever the latest data available on the gold layer, that will be automatically synced into the Power BI so that you will have all real-time analytics within your Power BI. Okay, as part of this, we cover the ETL auditing and tracking. This will ensure the seamless integration across different layers with the counts of the what are the rows we read from the source. So what's the target count? So this will have a complete tracking. Maybe I'll showcase the dashboard of ETL auditing and tracking. And here within this fabric, this scheduling and orchestration will be taken care completely by the fabric scheduler. Yes. So what is our approach? So we use the metadata driven approach. Like, so any data warehouse solution, the people will start creating the multiple pipelines for each of these tables. Our approach is something different. Like we have a metadata driven approach, like control tables. Maybe I'll showcase demo after this slides. So it can be a couple of tables. You just need to configure it, and that's it. Rest of the things will be taken care of automatically. And also we do a parallel processing to have high performance. Like let us assume you have some 1,000 tables from one of the sources. So within our fabric, we use as a parallel processing, and we just process the tables in parallel based on the capacity you purchase. Like we have a capacity from F2 to F6 128. So based on the capacity, it will automatically allocate the tables and it will process it and it will move across different layers of the Mendelian architecture which I showcase. So and we do the incremental development like a sprint, so 2 weeks of sprint, and which help us to able to give you the solution in couple of weeks. Okay, and as I told, we have the auditing and exception handling, and which help us to give you the right track of data without any data loss. And more interestingly, it supports the dynamic schema. So any product or any solution, they will be keep changing or keep adding or keep removing the column on the source side. So with our approach, it's dynamically identify, hey, a new column has been added to the source, and it will automatically understand that there is a new column has been introduced, and it will add into the fabric, and it will seamlessly push the data into the fabric layers. And from production to deployment, we hardly takes 2 weeks with complete metadata-driven approach. Yeah. So this is on the this is on the case study. Like we done one of the finance side customer. So they have a problem of having a scattered data, and they use the complete logic has been implemented within the ClickSense. So what we have proposed them to use is, hey, just use the fabric to bring all data, make a data ready on the fabric layer, and consume that within your Power BI. So the impact of this is the previously with the ClickSense, they had around they take around 8 to 10 hours to get a data refresh and will have a data dashboard ready. So with this approach, it has been reduced to 50 to 70 percentage, so which help us to have the real time data within their reports or Power BI. So that's I mean, the changes happen within this fabric. Yeah, let's check out the features. Maybe I'll have some demo in place. I have made us a video. Let me showcase that. Yeah. So before I start, as I mentioned, we use a metadata-driven approach, right? So this is our the control utility, which is kind of a no-code or low-code approach. We have a couple of tables here, like header and detail. You just want to have entries in this table. So our approach will able to understand that the new table has been added into the utility, and that will be taken care for processing, and it will move the data across different layers. Maybe I'll start a video here. Yeah. So if you see, for this example, I'm just searching for a table entity which is not present within the layer. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to add that table into the utility. So here the connection name, it's like whether it's a Postgre, yes, what's a schema, what's the object. So what's the frequency of it, like whether it's a daily or it can be hourly, whatever the frequency, and what is the object type. It can be a dimension or fact, right? So we generally mention all the master data has dimension and the transaction data or the fact tables, and the load types are full or incremental. So any typical scenarios, the transaction data should be the full load, and all the master data will be the vice versa. So all our master data will be the full load, and the transaction data will be the incremental, since the volume will be very huge at the transaction. So, and also here we mentioning about the data flow, right? So this will gives you the different flows. If I mention as all, it will segregate the layers between like source to bronze and the bronze to silver. So in case if you want to have a data directly into silver layer, you just specify the data flow flag over there, and that will take care of rest of the process. So, so here I'm just mentioning the source query. Okay, and I'm just saving it. I'm just giving the entity, just give a search. Okay, and it will bring the whatever the entry which we made. Yes, the entity is present. So if you want to see the what is there within the entity on the header table, so it will showcase everything like, hey, this is from the Postgres, so the target object. So this target object will be dynamically defined. So based on the data which we are giving, so whether it's going to be fact, it starts with F. If it's dimension, it's start with a D underscore. Okay, and yes, so these are the header level. If you want to modify, we can just give a edit and we can modify the fields, or if you want to just this applicable is also a very major part of this implementation. So one of the table is going into some iteration, some issue. If you want to stop that particular table for a processing, you don't want to touch base the fabric pipelines. You just come to this utility and just mark this is applicable flag as no, that's it. Just save it. So on the following run, it won't take this table for consideration for a ETL. Okay, similar for detail also, we have a couple of entries here. So the first entry will be bringing the data from the source to bronze, and the second layer will be for the bronze to silver. So maybe I'll showcase this tables as well. If you see the source of it is entity and the target of it is ideally it's a bronze layer and it's a staging one. So we start with the STG underscore entity, and it will have the pipeline name. It's all automatically derived from it. So if you want to change any of this load frequency, or if you want to change the source query, and everything can be done quite easily using this flow. So similarly for a bronze to silver also, we can just have everything in place. So here the source object becomes the staging entity, and the target objects becomes the D underscore entity. So similarly, yes, even for this, you can just edit. If you want to change something, just you can change it and save it. So that will be taken care automatically. Yeah. So this is all about the what to say, the dimension table. So let's make some entries for the fact table. So now I'm just using a SQL Server as my source, and some going to bring some invoice data and setting up some daily. So here in this case, we have kept as fact table. Okay, and I'm just keeping the data flow as all for this case because it's incremental, right? So since it's incremental, I'm just like to set up some operators. Like I want to do some delta loads from the source every day. I don't want to do a full load every time because the volume will be very huge. So it's when it comes to the incremental, right? So I'm just specifying the operator, and I'm just specifying the attributes of date here. That's it. You just save it. So here also we'll have a couple of entries as I told on the previous flow, like the source to bronze and to the bronze to silver. So like if you see it starts with the F and the source ID is the invoice data. And since it's a so what we are doing is, so we by default we just put making the modified data as the 1900. So in case if you want to change it, yes, it's very much possible where we can restrict the data. So if we see, we have a couple of entries on the detail side. So source to bronze, and the target is the bronze Legos, and the target object is the staging and the pipelines, the source query operator, everything is it's seamlessly populated over in the control table. So it's again for the second layer, the target name is the Legos, the silver Legos, the source object, and the target object is F underscore invoice. Okay, all right. So now the entries are all made. So it hardly takes a minute of time to just to define all the fields. I mean, all the required fields. What I've done is I'm just going into the. So once okay, as a process, what I've done is at the first stage I made an entry, and then next step I'm just going to the Legos and just showcasing the table is not there. Okay, as in bronze, the stage underscore expense and the invoice is not there. Okay, and similarly I'm going into the silver Legos and I'm just showcasing whether the table is exist. It's not there. The both the tables are not exist here. As a next step, I'm going to run my pipeline. I've not done anything. I didn't touch anything. I just made entries on the control table. I'm just going to enter, just start a pipeline. As a first step, what it will do, it will extract the schema, right? So the schemas of the each databases, we will extract it for the new table, okay? And it will move that schema into the fabric, and it will do kind of a mapping between the each of this column, and it will process for the first layer, like is this for a SQL server is done, MySQL is done, bronze is low, that's it. We just need to trigger it. So ideally, all the pipelines are executed. Now I'm just going back to my bronze and just going to refresh it. Yes, the staging is automatically added here, like staging underscore entity is automatically added, and we have a staging underscore invoice as well. So I mean, ideally it's kind of a no code. So initial setup is required sometimes. So after doing that, we don't want to do any kind of technical stuff within this. The ingestion, the process will be taken care automatically using this metadata driven approach. So this is completely on the bronze side, and coming to the silver, where we'll have a D underscore entity and F underscore the invoice data, right? So if you see, yes, we have data within this. It has ETL created date, what is the source, everything will be there within this table. And similar for the invoice data as well. Like so any typical transaction table will have huge volume. Just for this demo purpose, we just took the few data and just moved across different layers. So this is how it looks. Okay. Now the data is there. We have everything in place. What's the next step? Yes. How are we going to secure the data? Right. So any typical company we falls under the security part, which is a major concern. Okay. So here I'd like to show some of the demo on the three of the things. One is object level security, and the column level security, and the row level security. And as we have masking as well, which we have not covered, but it's also can be possible within the fabric. Okay, we have a couple of users. Like if you see, it's admin users. So admin will have all privileges. I'm going to run one of the table called D underscore category. So this user has all permissions of this object level. So you could able to see all the data. So if you see the category ID, category name, the activator, the ETL activator, when it's created, updated, everything will be there. So now I'm going to the other user. Okay. Typically, if you want to give any access to the people, so let us say we have 5 to 10 users. The admin will have all access, and other user will have a respective access, right? So I'm just going to run the same table here with the other user. Okay, so let's see what it shows. Yep, I'm running select star from the D underscore category. So it will throw the error, right? So since the OL is in place for the other users, so once we run it, it will show like, hey, you don't have access to it. So you don't have access to this object. So this is how the security has been implemented within the fabric. So this is one case of RLS. Okay, going to the other cases where we have the column level security, like we have around 10 to 15 columns. In that, we want to restrict some of the access of the column which has some sensitive information. It can be an invoice number, it can be a date of birth, it can be anything based on the each business, right? So what I'm doing is, so I'm just running this table called D underscore division on the column level security, which gives you all the rows for the admin. Yes, I have a different divisions here. Yes, I could see like around 5 to 6 columns here. Okay, it's all good at the admin level. Now I'm just moving to the other user. Okay, which we have applied some of the CLS, which is a column level security. I'm just running it, right? So it shows, hey, you don't have access to the few of the columns. It's right away. It's hey, you don't have access to this created date, email, active indicator. So what are the cases? So these are the column level security has been implemented within the fabric. So in case if a user specify the column instead of star, so he could able to see the data. So here I'm just making the select, the division ID, and then division name from the table of D underscore division. So I'm just going to run it now. So it will display the respective columns within a fabric. And more interesting, this all the security is all dynamic. So you want to just define it and just give the, hey, which are the users are required, what are the permission, that's it. It will be applied across different tables as well. So that I can explain you on the row level security. So next part will be on the row level security, which is RLS. So on the expense, if I do a distinct of the division, it shows 7 divisions, right? So it has, yes, it has 5 divisions, like 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now I'm just going to the other user, which has the row level security has been applied. Okay. And yes, I'm just running the same table on the same within on the same server. It has only, yes, here you go. We have only 4 divisions. We have restricted for one of the divisions, which is not visible for this user. So as I told, we can apply for the different tables as well, right? So that's why I have 2 tables as an example here. We have a budget data. Also, we have divisions in the budget data. So if you see within the budget, we have around 8 divisions. Okay. And now moving to the other user, where you can see only the available division for that particular user. Yeah, if you could see able to see only the 4 division for this particular user. Yeah, this is completely on the RS side, like we want to apply the security. Now coming to the dashboards, where I talk about the ETL monitoring, right? So we have something called um, like orchestration as well as the ETL auditing and except handling, right? So we have inbuilt dashboards. Like if as a user you don't want to do kind of a select statement and see whether how many tables has been failed today, how many tables are active, how many tables are inactive, so how many tables are in each of the sources. With this dashboard, we could be able to see all the information all together. Like if we can do a slice and dice, and also at the different data flows, whether we have the source to bronze, bronze to silver, or silver to gold, how many tables falls under the full load or incremental, everything can be seen within this single dashboard. Right. So this will be real time, and it will help us to just monitor it. If something goes wrong, how we can mitigate that issue. So which can be handled quite easily. So using the data set which I have created, right? So I made some small dashboards. So which covers some of the key metrics of the revenue report, like on the total revenue, what's the budget? So what's your month on month budget and the actuals, how the trends is moving, and what is the revenue ratio, how the revenue has been moved across different months, and what is your budget with the actual of each of this department, and which department gives the highest revenue. So we will have all this comparison, which is completely slice and dice, and we have a lot of different reports as well. Like, and also the important features which I like to talk about is a Copilot, and here the dashboard is ready. We are presenting to any of the business user. So he just want to know what is the executive summary, what's the summary of this report. So just using this Copilot, I'm just giving what is the execution summary of this report. So it will just give you the entire summary, like, hey, this is all about, like, this shows a physical year between the 2023 and what is your budget and what is your plan, where we stand currently on the monthly breakdown. So all the information will be thrown out by the Copilot. So that's the Copilot able to understand the data sets and it will make the summary out of it. So, and also like, what are the insights? I want to look. So it will give all the things like where we have gone down, what's our revenue, which month we played a good amount of revenue basis actual. Everything will be given by the Copilot. So it's very, very simple. Just need to integrate this with your data sets and rest of the things will be taken care of automatically. Yeah. So that's it from my side. Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Any questions?